Yo, what's up, guys? It's time for another recap on the crypto market and pretty much everything that's been going on in the market. So, if you've watched the previous videos, you know I've been very bearish, and it's great to see that my thesis is finally playing out and we're getting some heavy nukes in crypto. So, all of the shorts that we took in TFT are printing. If you want to join, it's the link down below, completely free, where we're just sharing sauce, dropping videos, talking with each other about trade ideas and stuff like that. So first, I want to dive into Bitcoin here. We're currently trading under 100,000, which is pretty key for Bitcoin. Um, and yeah, as you know, I was short. If you want me to break down the trade real quick, this was a weekly high right here, and we had an FOMC event. Everybody was very bullish and saying that Trump was going to make a deal with China. FOMC was going to go bullish, rate cut, blah, 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 blah. Sweeps this, boom, retest of this zone, and then nuke. So that was pretty much my key area for Bitcoin, and it ultimately ended up nuking to our targets. So the next targets that I have for Bitcoin are this low here at about 98K to 93K ish. This zone for Bitcoin is pretty key for it to hold, for this to be the low time frame bottom. I would definitely look to add to my spot bags, maybe like 30% of my allocated capital that I want to deploy back into Bitcoin. Another area, if this does not hold, and especially we get a weekly close underneath the yearly open, would be probably this 75K zone. I know it's very far away currently, but this is definitely a possibility if we get a weekly close underneath the weekly open on Bitcoin. So now let's head over to Solana. This was pretty much one of the best trades I've taken all year. As you know, again, I'll break down the thesis. So this is the very high of this whole range. We were in an uptrend on Solana for about 9 months. Then we have the biggest liquidation event in crypto history, and we range. We simply just range, and we fail to take out the immediate recovery high on the FOMC and go into this 786. From then, we started to break down, and then we lost the yearly and weekly open from this was the previous week's open, so now it's just a weekly level, and then we rejected it and puked. Now we're trading towards this point of control here. So I want to see if this bounces on Solana, but again, I'm not looking for any high time frame longs. And this is the scenario where I would have been bullish after the liquidation event, just so you guys can see. So major liquidation event, recovery, retrace, boom, reclaiming the trend, and then push up here. This is the scenario that I would have longed, and as you can see, this is totally the opposite of what happened. So that's for everybody asking, why did I short there? And then Ethereum, again, if you go onto the weekly time frame and you're trading the full picture, it's super simple on ETH. So let's break it down real quick. This is the 2021 all-time highs trading at about $5,000 on ETH. And then down here, we have this key swing low, which is pretty important for the breakout of Ethereum after this little bear market right here. Not little bear market, this was actually like 2 years of chop pretty much. And then this low gets swept, we reclaim inside the range lows, retest it, push up, and then now we deviated above into the previous all-time high, and now we're coming down, boom, retest the range highs, and bounce out into mid-range. The first area I had was the yearly open for ETH to bounce. As you can see, it did not bounce whatsoever, and we are going towards this weekly level here and this order block level here. And then the final target, I guess, would be the range low somewhere down here if nothing else holds. So that's the plan on Ethereum. Hopefully you guys followed along with my calls because they have been great. I'm not even going to cover altcoins right now. Short them if you want, but there's no long positions in my opinion to take on alts. BNB, I spoke about this channel like 3 times. right here, yeah, spoke about it like 3 times that BNB is just trading this channel. Maybe we come up to this zone. We ultimately didn't. Boom, breakdown, retest it, and then just puke. Right? So you're seeing how these setups were pretty obvious in my opinion and pretty simple. Let's go over the NASDAQ real quick. So on the NASDAQ, we had this daily gap. That was my draw. We came into it today, pretty much bounced a little bit, ended up puking. So maybe now at these previous all-time highs right here would provide a decent bounce for the NASDAQ, which would also give some relief on crypto, which does make sense for the rest of this week. And then GBP USD, absolute cooker shorts. There was literally no reason to close these. I closed mine because I was just in too many positions, but this would have printed. And then especially if we reject off these highs, it should probably even fall further. So that just depends on that. And DXY chart, again, past few FOMCs was the low on the DXY, and we just traded up to this key high, which is why I'm saying this could coincide with some short-term relief maybe before higher. We'd have to see if this level right here kind of holds or what's going to happen. But my work is pretty much done. I'm pretty much like 50% scaled out of these shorts, trailing the stop losses. So I'm big chilling right now. And there's nothing really else to update. So I will hit you guys in the next video.